everybody. Welcome to another edition of Business Matters, the Broomfield Chamber of Commerce video podcast. I'm Pat Monticelli, the Director of Membership and Marketing for the Chamber. Thanks for joining us today. And as you know, we've been taking these Business Matters podcasts and using it as an opportunity to get out more information about COVID-19, the coronavirus, how it's impacting our community, how it's impacting our business community, some things you can do to stay connected during the quarantines or the stay-at-home orders. One of the things that we haven't talked about yet that is critically important to the community is the impact of the coronavirus and the shutdowns and the restrictions on our nonprofit community. And we are pleased today to have Dayna Scott, the Executive Director of Broomfield Fish, with us. Dayna, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Pat.
What we want to do is, you know, and you and I have chatted about this before. I spent a lot of years in the nonprofit industry, and so I've seen how things kind of ebb and flow in that space. This sort of is an unprecedented situation, though. We haven't seen anything this widespread, this impactful across not only our community but communities everywhere. Tell me, give us an idea of how this is impacting specifically Broomfield Fish.
Well, it's having a huge impact. Everything that we knew 2 weeks ago is completely changed. How we're helping people has changed. We joke that you need to be able to pivot when you work in nonprofits, and actually we're having to pirouette because things are changing so drastically and so rapidly. The bottom line, Pat, is that we're just seeing huge, incredible need in our community. And it's because we have sort of the traditional population of folks that we serve who might be lower wage workers working multiple jobs but not able to make ends meet. And now we're seeing a lot more people who are unemployed or laid off, or hours have gotten cut back. And so there's just a lot more need and a lot more fear in the community about how am I going to pay my rent next month? How am I going to put food on the table for my kids? So we're having to try to accommodate that.
And so what are some of the things that you're doing? Or have you put plans in place to kind of cover for that? Or is that still sort of an unknown because we don't know where this is going?
Well, here's the unusual thing. So because we're in a period where we have a stay-at-home order, where we're encouraging people to social distance, Fish normally works with a very lean staff and a whole lot of volunteers. And so last year we had over 22,000 hours of volunteer time. Now we're really trying to cut back on the number of people who are doing the service delivery and trying to maintain that 6 feet of distance while we do it, which has been incredibly hard. So at any given time, we're trying to limit it to 25 people in our building or less. We've had incredible support from the city and county of Broomfield, incredible support from our generous donors and community members who all want to help people. And the trick is just figuring out the best way to make that all work. So we have had to change our service delivery model. We normally pride ourselves in having a self-shop marketplace where people can come and select the food they need. Our whole building at Six Garden Center is closed to the public now, and we're doing food distribution in a couple different ways. We're doing drive-up delivery of food, so people can drive up to Six Garden Center, and then we put emergency boxes in their trunks. And then we're also coordinating with Meals on Wheels and Easy Ride to do delivery of food to seniors and other folks who are more vulnerable populations.
As part of the nonprofit community, you obviously have conversations with the other local nonprofits.
Yes.
Have you got a sense of how this is impacting everybody across the community?
I think that it really is depending on what kind of nonprofit, what the nonprofit does, what its function is. We've been working really closely with our partner food banks and family resource centers. We've been working really closely with A Precious Child, who we're so grateful that they are handling the procurement of personal care kits, cleaning products, and baby items, and then they're delivering to us so we can deliver them to families, so that families only have to come to one place, which is amazing. Some of the other nonprofits who don't do direct service delivery have had to put a pause on what's happening. It's also affecting even you as the chamber. Know you had to, reschedule the Gala-palooza.
Right.
So we're looking at different ways that we can do fundraising to make sure that we have critical operating funds.
Have you found, and you mentioned the incredible support that you've gotten from volunteers and from your donors recently. One of the things that I found when I was working in the nonprofit sector is that situations like this tend to bring out people who may not have otherwise donated because they really see a need
Yes.
that they don't see every day. Have you found that to be the case?
Absolutely. We have absolutely found that to be the case. We have seen a huge upsurge in new donors, and specifically people donating through Colorado Gives, which is the platform that we use on our website for donations. And it makes it really easy to give. You can give as little as $5 or $10. So we've seen a lot more people. Just since March 1st, Pat, we've had probably 200 people contribute through our Colorado platform, which is incredible.
And one of the challenges always is when you have a situation like this is when things start to get back to normal. It's important from a nonprofit perspective to make sure that those people don't forget about you, because just because this situation ends doesn't mean the need goes away.
Precisely. And I think that's particularly an issue here because I think everybody is so wanting things to get back to normal, wanting life to get back to normal, and that happens in April or May. It's still going to really change the course of our work over the next year, because we're going to still see a lot of the residual effects of this on the economy for months and months to come. And so all the immediate need of making sure people are taken care of, particularly during this, the stay-at-home order and during this time, I think that we're going to be feeling this for at least a year.
So as we start to move forward, what specifically does Broomfield Fish need? What does our community need from our residents, some of whom are obviously struggling through this themselves? But what are the biggest areas of need?
Yeah. So I think we're gonna continue to look at how do we meet people's basic human needs, right? And particularly those of our more vulnerable populations, our seniors, folks with a disability. How are we making sure that we're connecting with them even in a time when we're not able to connect with them because of social distancing? And then I think we're really looking at the economic impacts of how are we getting people back to work? How are we helping with that process? And so for Fish, part of what we do is connect people to resources. And so we sort of act as a central hub, as a family resource center, to make sure that we know kind of what's out there. So we have great connections to a lot of the other local nonprofits, a lot of businesses through the chamber, through you all, and through the city and county. And I think it's just gonna take coming together and not having a really short-term memory in terms of getting through this.
Right. Dayna, before I let you go, I want to make sure that I give you 30 seconds. We've already talked a lot about what you do, but give me that 30-second pitch about Broomfield Fish. What is it that you do every day as one of the nonprofits here in the Broomfield area?
Thanks. So we are the Food Bank and Family Resource Center in Broomfield, and we serve our neighbors who are at or below 200% of the poverty guidelines. Generally, that's a family of four making $50,000 a year or less. During this time, we're actually looking at working with the city and county who has set a different level of need, because there's a lot of folks who are making two incomes or making a lot more money who are making less now. So we kind of expanded our role there. But the biggest, we're known as a food bank, but we also do emergency rent, utility, transportation assistance. And then the big thing is connecting people to resources. So connecting them to the workforce center for jobs, connecting them to healthcare, those sorts of things.
Great. Dayna, thanks again so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you taking time to put a spotlight on some of the nonprofits, and a shout out to all our fellow nonprofits who are working really hard right now. And thanks to the Chamber for all you're doing as well.
Don't forget that the Chamber has a lot of available resources for you if you're looking for information about the coronavirus, the restrictions, the stay-at-home orders, those sorts of things. You can check out the Broomfield Chamber of Commerce website at broomfieldchamber.com. You can scroll down and find that we have a COVID-19 information and resources section on the website. You can also join the Broomfield Area Business Strong page on Facebook. It's actually a Facebook group. Broomfield Area Business Strong, just go to Facebook, look up that name, Broomfield Area Business Strong. This is a place where our businesses that are open can give out information, can post information about hours, products, those sorts of things, and ways for people to contact them. Also a place where our local community can go to find out this information if they would like to shop with local businesses. And don't forget that you can find this video and others on our YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and look for Broomfield Chamber of Commerce. You'll find this video, all of our other Business Matters videos, as well as other videos we've done. And don't forget to like our videos and subscribe to our page so we can get the message out wider and further about what we're doing here with Business Matters. Again, I'm Pat Monticelli. Thanks for tuning in again today. We'll see you next time.